The $600 a month federal unemployment boost is set to expire in just a couple of days on July 31st. So, what does this mean for rideshare and delivery drivers? What's up, guys? Brandon Sellers here from Gridwise, here to talk through with you the driver's perspective of what's going to be huge in the news today and in this week, and in next week, certainly as well. That being the proposed HEALS Act, proposed by I believe Senate Republicans yesterday, right? So we originally had the CARES Act at the beginning of all of COVID, which passed, and that obviously allowed the $600 a week in federal unemployment benefits for independent contractors. We also actually had the HEROES Act. A lot of you probably didn't hear about that because it didn't pass. That would, I believe, it would have extended those benefits. Didn't pass. Now we have the HEALS Act, which actually is going to roll back some of those benefits. So that's where we're at. I don't know why every bill apparently needs to have some sort of a cool acronym. I don't know how much time they spend on that, but we're going to explain to you what the HEALS Act means for drivers specifically. Again, you're going to hear a lot of news about this, but what does it mean for drivers? So that's what we actually care about. Before we get into that, if you do like our content, if you like our channel, if you like Gridwise, the company, if you like the app, please subscribe below. We are going to be bringing you so much information over this next week about all the developments in this with this HEALS Act, with unemployment for independent contractors, for rideshare and delivery drivers. So please go ahead and subscribe. Now, let's get right into it. Let's be clear. It is going to be very surprising and very difficult, I think, for unemployment benefits to stay where they currently are at, which is at $600 a week. What the HEALS Act proposes is basically $200 per week for 2 months. And that's really, that 2 months is just so that states are able to set up a system so that they can basically start to only pay people 70% of what they previously made. So that's the goal, is to get to people to 70% of what they previously made, and not this kind of standard $600 a month, or even the standard like $200 a month. And that's something that Republicans in the Congress have certainly been fighting for. Not to get political here, decide whether you like that or not, but they certainly believe that people are actually getting paid more than they had been before COVID, and then so they are trying to get people back to work, because they believe, okay, you're getting paid $600 a week to sit at home, you can kind of afford to get back on the road. Again, decide whether or not you agree with that, but that's certainly what they're pressing for. And given that they have control of the Senate, you're definitely going to see I would be amazed if you did not see a decrease in what these unemployment benefits are, to put it frankly. So we do have good news in that everyone's going to get it does look like everyone's going to get a stimulus check. I'm not going to say definitely, but House and Senate Republicans want a stimulus check. It does seem like House and Senate Democrats want a stimulus check, so that $1,200 a month does look like it's going to come through. We don't have yet any information on the Paycheck Protection Program or EIDL type loan programs being kind of extended, though that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't be extended. But again, the big concern here is from an unemployment standpoint. You have a lot, rideshare driving right now, let's not mince words here. It's more dangerous. So you have a lot of rideshare drivers that stopped driving, that still aren't driving, that were relying on that unemployment. You have a lot of those drivers that were immunocompromised, that would be put in a really dangerous situation if they had to start driving again. So, my concern certainly is that, hey, are drivers really going to be able to take advantage of this? And I say this not because I think drivers are necessarily going to get cut out. I mean, drivers are still in the bill. But are drivers actually going to be able to take advantage of this? Because what you see, where you're going to see is, well, states now have to, where they have traditionally, only looked at, W-2 wages. Now they're going to have to look at 1099 wages in order to start to calculate, hey, what's 70% of what you previously made, right? And so that is going to be really difficult. We saw how hard it was for states to get a grasp of things with just the CARES Act. They took months. Some states still don't have a good grasp of it. Drivers are having the hardest time actually getting these benefits. So what's going to happen when all of a sudden every state needs to do this calculation no matter what? You have to do this calculation because you can only pay 70% of previous wages. What's the basis going to be for that? How is it going to be calculated? How are 1099s going to be gathered? Is it going to be online? Probably can't be in person. How is that going to go down? I think that is going to be the challenge for states here. And if any, and again, I don't think it doesn't appear that drivers are getting cut out, but I definitely think just from a system standpoint, it's going to be so hard for drivers to get unemployment, guys. So that's what you need to be careful of. If you are in a position where you can start to think about driving again, whether that be rideshare or delivery, grocery, I would encourage you to look into that because, we can't predict, or we don't exactly know what's going to happen here. We should have some movement in the next week. I can't imagine August 5th goes by and then we don't have any sort of extension on anything because on August 5th, Congress goes to recess. They're not getting anything done. I don't know. They go home, hang out by their pools or whatever for a couple weeks. Then they come back, and then they can start deliberating again. There's no way they're leaving America hanging. Unless all of them want to get replaced. Can't imagine they're going to leave America hanging. All these folks on unemployment, all these folks that are continuing to apply for unemployment, can't imagine they leave all these folks hanging without anything. So I do expect something to happen soon, but I don't think it doesn't appear to be. It's going to be as much as it was previously. So guys, definitely if it's going to be safe for you and you are not driving still, I would definitely encourage you to look at what your options are in preparation for potentially, a lot of drivers already have their unemployment cut. So potentially you could have even more, you certainly could have more cut there. So something to kind of watch out for, something to think about, something to be careful there. This is going to evolve a lot over the next coming days and weeks. And we will be here providing you information on that, on everything that's going on with the HEALS Act, HEROES Act, CARES Act, all these acts. We're going to let you know what's going on with driver unemployment through articles, through video, whatever you need. So guys, keep an eye out, subscribe, and we will keep you informed. Thank you.